consumers spend more this holiday than last, with 1 in 5 planning to increase their holiday budget. Well, the problem is, I'm going to try to explain this in simple words that most economists don't understand. It's called inflation, inflation, inflation. If you intend to spend $10 more than you did last year, it more than likely has to do with the fact that inflation is more than, okay, yeah, put it this way, inflation is up, no matter what they're gonna say, by about 10%. If you spent $22 last year for something by 10%, and you're only spending $10 more, which means you've actually cut back on what you're spending this year. But I actually went to school and I had to take mathematics.
Well, they traditionally don't do the recalculation when they go through the figures.
Well, no, they no.
And it's not just the CA,
No,
it's
but we know the
typically.
people.
It's
They have to go by the figures that they are given from
Yeah.
the government. And the government says there is no inflation.
Oh, that's true.
And we know there is inflation because, like I said, go look at the stuff in the grocery store.
Go look at the gallon of milk and how much it costs you now versus 3 months ago.
Yeah, go look at those clothes that all of a sudden that they can't give away, that you find on a discount rack. Well, isn't that $10 more than when it was on sale? You know, that's the whole trick. Inflation is there, they just don't want you to know. Okay, you know, it's just mathematics. You know that when you look at it and you see, you know, we tend to pay attention more than other people. But I know that housewife on a budget looks at the price of the things. I mean, she'll tell you, I know peanut butter was 50 cents cheaper a month ago than it is now. Well, and then the guy will say, well, that's because it costs us more money to get it made, more money to get it delivered. That's called inflation. I mean, I don't know, I think they got their amortization of the dollar, I think they're calling it now, it is called inflation. I know, actually, like I said, it will be the hottest gift. Overall, consumers spend $750, which is down from last year. By 2%, okay, figure 750, 2%, 1% would be 7, that's only $15, that's not down, it's gonna be less.
That's hardly anything.
Yeah.
The other part is I think, remember from last year, I think it was, this figure 750, I think that's per family.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're talking about how much they spend this holiday season. I'm trying to remember, on this, not, because it's not right in front of us. That 750 includes like food and travel and all of that.
Yeah, it encompasses, because they had to paraphrase, it encompasses everything that you're doing at that time. For instance, say.
Holiday season
Yeah,
extras,
if you want to
expenditures.
take your family to a movie at that time because it's a holiday, you want to go take them to an amusement park, you want to take them to a theatrical show, you want to just simply go driving on the, you just want to go out because, you're taking a staycation, you just want to go drive out and see the sights in your area. Or you want to go get that Christmas tree, folks. That Christmas tree counts. Christmas trees have got awful expensive.
I know.
I mean, we know
They're getting
Costco.
more. That's why people are buying more and more of those
We
fake
saw a
trees.
thing, Costco is taking orders for live Christmas trees.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I got that yesterday, so. But more consumers want electronics as a gift themselves. Well, yeah. Notebooks, laptop computers, iPads, e-readers such as us.
I want a new iPad.
I know.
Actually, not an iPad, an Android pad.
Yeah, she wants an Android pad.
That can work as a cell phone.
Yeah, consumers want new technology.
And a new camera.
Yeah, I know.
No, excuse me, cameras.
Yeah, we got 2 more cameras that are on the wish list.
And another laptop and desktop.
We need another laptop. Anybody wants to give us a 25 gigabyte, laptop? They said 25 gigabyte laptop. Well, this thing here is the biggest.
We're doing
laptop
3D
yet.
processing.
I need it because I go crazy. Basically, consumers spend an average of $1,412 this on gifts from everything to decorations, travel, and food. That's up 3%. But the problem is that basically they're really stretching to get that one. That's everything that's being done for the holiday season. The other is narrower. This one they've thrown the kitchen sink at that figure.
Well, yeah, they give you that. That's where they get that figure.
Yeah, but that's $1,400. I don't think, basically, if you go, I guess they would include our cornbread, which is all ready to eat. Monty's dog food. Well, she's leaving now because she didn't get anything, so,
Well, that gifts, decorations, travel, food, everything on.
yeah.
I did like it. It says overall consumers will each spend. Is that really each person? I think that's more household.
No, it's okay. They basically, they throw the kitchen sink at it in order to give you, this is mathematicians doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I will guarantee you that 720 figure, you buy one television set, and you've hit that figure.
Mm-hmm.
So you buy one computer, you hit that figure. You buy.
That's where averages come into place.
You buy a they hit you with the brand new smartphones at this time of year, and say most of the people their plans haven't turned over, so they're paying cash for that cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets close to you when you spend $500 on a brand new cell phone.
When I was getting mine, some guy spent $700 on a phone.
Yeah.
It's like, just open a new line.
Here's one. Well, according to the government, the recession officially ended a year and a half ago. Consumers remained very cautious this holiday. Worries remain over the economy and employment picture. Consumers will spend more this year than last, with 1 in 5 planning to increase their holiday budget compared to last year. But the problem is that we're going to try it again. Inflation. This I know what the rate of inflation is because I heard the experts. I actually pay attention to when they're talking on the financial shows, and they said they're varying the rate of inflation, which is 10% and higher, to make it look like everything. Okay, we just spent $230 billion this morning to stabilize the economy again. That means there's going to be an uptick in the rate of inflation. It's not going to show up, but it's there. Mm-hmm. So if you're spending more money, it's more than likely because it's costing you more money, not because you're spending more money, which doesn't help the economy grow. It's why this is the economy. Everyone will admit this is the economy.
Well, yeah, because part of it is if you have, let's just say you have $100 to spend.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, if you only have $100, you buy less.
That's right. You have to be, credit is tremendously tight. Except for everybody but me, and they keep giving me more because I don't spend anything, which is horrible, isn't it?
They're trying to get you to spend some.
They want me to spend some, but the unemployment hasn't changed in a year. The economy is flat. Spending is flat. In order to make the economy grow, you have to spend more money, and it isn't being done. It can't be targeted for inflation. You actually have to go. Like if you got $100 in one pocket and you're saving $100 in another pocket for emergencies, they need you to spend that emergency money. Mm-hmm. That only happens if you think that you're going to be able to replace that other $100. That's when your economy is growing, is when you're willing to take that money out of that other pocket and spend it. They aren't willing to do it because there is no work. Why do you think that most of the consumer electronics are built out of this country when we developed almost everything in this? Only thing we didn't develop was the cruddy transistor. And that was developed by Americans in China, in Asia. So we did develop it, but they built it there because they could do it cheaper. But we developed, the United States used to develop everything. Now we develop nothing. We theorize and then we go to India and the Indians do it. And then the Chinese make it cheaper. So, but this is just this plan. I look at it as more or less a depressing holiday, not a reason for looking forward in business. I look at it as going backwards another year.
But there's a lot of really cool consumer electronic stuff coming out.
Oh no, there's all kinds of neat stuff.
A lot of things.
I have my personal gripe about the people in the consumer electronics industry. If they think the reason they can't sell their merchandise is because it's not what people want, no, they're not any money. Oh, they redesigned the thing, spend $1 billion redesigning it to sell it. Well, I can't understand why we didn't make any money because we gave the people what they want. Well, no, they didn't give them what they want because they don't have the money to pay for it. So you spend $1 billion to go out the window. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times they're putting the cart before the horse. The people over at Sony were selling the Blu-ray players before they had TV sets you could see it on. And that was called a classical error. A lot of these people, they'll redesign their computers to make it more blingish because, well, if we put more bling into it, they'll buy it. They don't buy it and they don't understand why. Well, they didn't have the money to buy the unbling one how are you going to get the money to buy the bling?
Well, if the bling one costs like $100 to $200 more than the other one.
Yeah, okay, they're basically producing sets that will basically active shutter 3D sets, one with no programming except we can program an entire week schedule out of our library, but there's no programming for it, and the sets cost $3,000. Well, you're going to have that guy working at McDonald's who just lost his house because he couldn't afford the payments, go out and buy a $3,000 3D TV set. Yeah. You're going to have that guy that's basically, cleaning up houses for a living, that basically just lost his brand new automobile, going to go pay $3,000 for a 3D TV set. And the guy with the 6 children, well, they just broke my 3D glasses, what do I do? Well, you're going to have to buy 2 sets, that new ones are $300. $300, but my children break them every, you're going to have to buy them. They're going to sell lots of that stuff, yeah. That's called, okay, we'll tell you what the people upstairs said at the National Cable thing. 3D is being driven by the TV manufacturers, it is not being driven by the consumer or the people who produce the product. Because they think, well, the reason they didn't buy our television sets was because they weren't interconnected enough and because they didn't do enough.
It has nothing to do with
They didn't have any money. But they refuse to accept the fact that products aren't selling because people are broke. And then what happens is people will get money and they'll sell some stupid thing that nobody wants, and they'll sell it because it's out there, they'll buy it by the ton. So guess what happens the next few years? You get the same stupid thing. But then, we're next one up. Let's see, what are we going to be doing next?
This is basically during the beginning of our holiday. We did a SEMA buying guide.
Yeah, this is our overall trends in consumer electronics.
We'll also have a holiday buying guide.
Yeah.
And that'll be split up. Actually, we'll probably split that up into a couple different categories.
Yeah, probably gonna. Actually, we may actually do food this year. We generally don't do food. We know like hams, turkeys are hot. All those. We're going to do something on how about
hot food buying guide.
Our a guilty indulgence buying guide.
Ooh.
A guilty pleasure buying guide.
Yeah.
That one we do because I like like you go those Krispy Kremes that they tell you not to do. Those 6-layer hamburgers they tell you not to do. The steak that's this thick they tell you not to do.
We're gonna do it. So we're gonna have a lot of these coming up.
And they're gonna be coming at you on a several times a week for about the next month because we'll phase out. When we get to the 13 days of Christmas, that's when the buying guides all come to an end.
Well, also because besides buying, because part of it is they're starting earlier this year, so we're actually putting this out
a lot earlier.
But we'll also be talking about tips on, even though Black Friday has changed, tips on shopping during Black Friday.
Yeah.
Right. Surviving the holidays with relatives.
Yeah. So actually, we actually. I could actually put that back up from last year too, so I have to go back and find them. But I have to go back and recut them because now we're doing everything in higher def than we were before.
We're doing higher def.
So, but we can go back and recut. So you'll see some things that might look reminiscent from the past because we have some things that are traditional that we do every year. But surviving the holidays is a big one, folks.
That's right.
So until next time, this is OCAM.
And this is Not a Spring Chicken. We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And for more information,
you can go to www.montybutler.net on the net.
And watch for our daily newscast in 3D on OldChem.
Yeah.
Yes.
and our total 3D channel, which is News Video Web in 3D. And look for a couple of our videos are being basically being featured all around the world. One is called NOLO, and the second is the 917 Blues.
Oh yes, because you might have been seeing some of our animation that's coming out.
Yeah.
As well as with our music.
We're going to be doing a lot more animation, starting probably today. We're going to start doing a lot more animation. We're going to have an avatar. We're going to have a Christmas avatar for one thing. So you're going to keep your going to be Mrs. Bikini's our clocks.
But we've got a lot more in store for you, so stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter. Keep coming. We've got a lot more in store because we do have the daily avatar that tells you what we just posted the day before. And if there's anything that you'd love for us to cover, please let us know because we've got a lot of things in store for you.
Yeah, and even more as more people are joining. And I've got another avatar to create for another young lady
Oh, that's
that'll
right.
be doing her stuff. That's gotta get done. I gotta find where the pictures already great they had, so,
Oh yeah, I have to tell you where that is.
yeah.
So anyway, come join us for more Wherever You Want.